I am soon turning 30, coming up on my 5th year on YouTube, and we are now living in a time where Hollow Knight Silksong is actually real. This realization and the fact that if I sleep in a weird position my back will hurt for the rest of the day inspired me to do something different today. Time to reflect on the unstoppable march of time. Haha, gather round. I have been through so many game release cycles that I started noticing a pattern. A game is announced and what is shown really resonates. The hype starts to build, you note down the release date and you start counting the nights you've got left to sleep before you can get your grubby little paws on it, tingly feelings all around. Then the game comes out and you getting to play it is now a reality. A few days go by and you have a blast, or you don't. Then you get used to having the ability to play that game. After a while, the hype dies down and your excitement fades. That game you couldn't wait for is now just another title in your backlog that you haven't gotten around to finishing yet because the responsibilities of adulthood keep piling up. Then a new game is announced, and just like that the cycle repeats. This cycle repeats often these days though. With gaming becoming more and more widespread, the sheer amounts of games being released is insane. We've reached a point where every other month an amazing game comes out that is absolutely worthy of your time and attention. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to run honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3 with my New Jersey based dwarf barbarian named Tony Sopranot. Every time I play him, I have this nagging feeling that I am also missing out on other releases. There's just too much to look forward to, which traps gamers into a semi-permanent state of hype towards the next release. And in that process, I identified a little problem for myself. Looking forward to releases takes away from the present. I vividly remember, for example, waiting for Skyrim to release, being unable to fully concentrate on schoolwork and thinking to myself, I can't wait for it to be November 2011, or June 2013, or October 2016, or November. In a sense, I was inadvertently wishing time away by living towards a release date, not being consciously aware of the cycle that I described earlier. Instead, I cared more about being able to pop that bad boy in my now defunct PS3. With more and more releases happening, I feel like we, as gamers, are constantly being pushed to be excited for the next release, rather than enjoying the games that are already available. While some games are definitely better than others, and some games definitely hold a higher place in our hearts, the paradoxical part is that given enough time, even the new releases will become just another title in your Steam library when the initial hype dies down. Despite all its flaws, I still absolutely adore playing Skyrim, but that fuzzy feeling from waiting for the game to come out all the way to stepping foot into the open world for the very first time isn't there anymore. All the same, I am still feeling excited for the release for the next Elder Scrolls when I'm 42 or something. But now, I am realizing that when it comes out, that excitement too will fade and be replaced with different feelings. Taking all of this together, my obstacle is twofold. One, there's already so much good stuff out there that is competing for your attention and time that sitting down to play one title feels like forsaking all others. That phenomenon is amplified by the amount of games coming out. Not only does that mean even more titles to choose from, it also means additional participation in the hype cycle that will ask for an emotional investment by having hopes, dreams and anticipation for those titles, regardless if the game ends up being good or falls flat on its face. Where does that leave us? I think that the trick to it is being content and grateful for the present moment. Be appreciative and conscious of the free time you have to dedicate to all of this. And be aware that if you play one game, it means that you won't be able to play another. When you think about it, this problem is actually a luxury. That shift in mindset will also help staying content while having to wait for new games too. Despite looking forward to new releases, I am not actively wishing for time to pass to get to that date like I did when I was a dumbass kid. There's so much to life that wishing time away is the biggest waste there is. Days will pass anyway, hype comes and goes, and while it's not inherently bad to look forward to things, you should not ignore what you have right now. Rather than always looking towards the future and wishing for what could be, don't forget to be grateful for what already is, such as the Swords and Sandals Classic Collection. These are habits he picked up from living his entire life in Freeside.
But that is not all he picked up.
Why do all your characters get STDs?
Because they're living life!